President Maithripala Sirisena arrives at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone. Sacred relics at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone open to the public. North Central Provincial Minister of Health K.H. Nandasena removed from his post. S.M. Ranjit steps down in protest. Motorbike used by assailants in Piliyandala shooting found abandoned. Coming to you live from our studios here in Colombo on TV1 and Shakti TV. This is News First Primetime News. A very good evening to you. I'm Shahin Durangpati.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongso. Let's take a look at those stories in detail now. US media have revealed the contents of the letter sent by US President Donald Trump to the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, James Comey. According to the letter, the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General of the United States had recommended the dismissal of the Director of the FBI. The letter also noted that President Trump concurs with the judgment of the Department of Justice that Comey is unable to effectively lead the Bureau. President Trump adds that it is essential to find new leadership for the FBI that restores public trust and confidence in its vital law enforcement mission.
Now, the key reason given for the firing is the mishandling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails in July 2016. In October, presidential candidate Trump had praised FBI Director Comey for his actions in the matter relating to the Clinton investigation.
I respect the fact that Director Comey was able to come back after what he did. I respect that very much.
And it took guts for Director Comey to make the move that he made in light of the kind of opposition he had where they're trying to protect her from criminal prosecution. You know that.
The White House shocked Washington by announcing that Comey has been terminated and removed from office. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions stated, "You are not able to effectively lead the Bureau." Top Republicans, including Richard Burr, the senator directing the Senate's Russian investigation, said they were troubled by the timing and reasoning of Trump's firing of Comey. Today, President Donald Trump is meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov.
President Maithripala Sirisena arrived at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone earlier this evening.
President Maithripala Sirisena, who arrived at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone, engaged in religious observances at the Shakya Malakya. He then declared open the pandal at the Vesak Zone. Thereafter, the President paid homage to the sacred relics at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone.
Well, Newsfirst Ramesh Irugal Bandara is right now at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone. Let's cross over to him live now to get an update of what's been happening today at the Vesak Zone.
A very good evening and welcome. This is the Torana at the pandal at the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone that you are witnessing right now. We are coming to you live and direct from the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone, which has been set up in the environments of the Capital Maharaja organization here in Colombo. Good evening to Shahin and good evening to Mahina and good evening to all our viewers that have been tuned in. Just wanted to give you an update on the Sirasa John Keel's International Vesak Zone. It is open to the public. It was open to the public this afternoon. People have been thronging to this International Vesak Zone to pay homage to the sacred relics that have been placed here. You will be able to find out what these sacred relics are in a short while from now. The sacred relics, the Sarvajna sacred relics from Mihintale, from the Mahabodhi temple, those are the Agrashravaka relics, as well as several other sacred relics have been brought to the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone so that the public of Sri Lanka will get the opportunity to pay homage to these sacred relics. This is, of course, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you're watching at home, please do come over to the Colombo 2 environs of the Capital Maharaja organization and join us in this Vesak Zone. We have dansas set up for you. We have rice dansas, we have kadala dansas or dal dansas, we have Bhaktigi performances as well as dramas and many other activities lined up for you at this Sirasa Vesak Zone. We will be open till late in the night today, so if you are in and around Colombo, we urge you to come and join us at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone. This is Ramesh Shirugal Bandara from the environments of the Capital Maharaja organization. Shahin Mahina, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Ramesh. As Ramesh said, the sacred Sarvajna relics as well as the relics of the Agrashravaka and Maharat Theros are currently open for the general public at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone in Colombo 2.
The sacred relics, which began their journey to Colombo 3 days ago from 3 different locations, arrived at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone this afternoon. Sarvajna relics as well as the relics of Maharahat Theros from the Nelligala International Buddhist Center arrived at the Vesak Zone today after commencing its journey from the Kalaniya Raja Mahaviharya this morning. The sacred relics of 18 Maharahat Theros, including Ananda Maharahat Thero, Pilindavacha Maharahat Thero, Angulimala Maharahat Thero and Kadiravaniya Revata Maharahat Theros arrived at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone from the Nelligala International Buddhist Center.
The sacred relics of the 18 Maharahat Theros were moved to the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone. This evening, the relics exposition was opened to the general public, giving them the opportunity to pay reverence. All Sri Lankans, including the Buddhists, will have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness these relics during these 3 days at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone.
The relics of Agrashravaka, Saryut and Mugalan Maharahat Theros made their way to the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone from the Mahabodhi Agrashravaka Mahaviharya in Maliga Khanda.
Sambhav Agha Kulino Dev Manus Namasit Pado.
We witnessed that devotees have lined before the opening of the exposition in order to witness the relics. The crowds are larger than what was witnessed during the past 7 years. I believe that the numbers would increase during these 3 days. Monks from overseas and foreigners have also come here to pay reverence to the relics.
The Sarwanya relics discovered from the Sandagiri Mahasaya in Tissa Maharama as well as the Mihindu Maharahat relics from Mihintale were placed at the Hunapitiya Gangarama Viharya last evening. The relics were brought to the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak Zone from the Gangarama Viharya this afternoon.
Samarama Sandagiri Stupe Datun Hansela Vedamakarante Yaduna.
The relics from the Tissa Maharama Sandagiri Sai were placed at the Vesak zone. The MTV MBC network has granted the opportunity for the devotees to pay their reverence to these sacred relics. This is a very rare opportunity. This is indeed the first time ever that the sacred relics have been moved out of the temple for an exposition, and they are now placed at the Sirasa John Keels International Vesak zone.
This is incidentally the first occasion on which the relics of Maharahat Theros were brought to the Sirasa Vesak zone.
ධර්මාශෝක මහා අධිරාජයාගේ ජේෂ්ඨ පුත්‍රරත්නේ මහා මහේන්ද්‍ර මහරහතන් වහන්සේගේ ධාතුන් වහන්සේලාත් වගේම උන්වහන්සේගේ
The relics of Mahamahendra Maharahat Thero, the son of Dharmashoka, and the ashes from his cremation have been placed here. In addition, a replica of the Sanchi Stupa, made purely in gold, has been moved to this zone. We have also placed here a replica of the Tuparamaya and the Sela Chaitya. Meanwhile, a stone casket from the 3rd century BC from the Mihindu Mahasaya has also been moved here. There is also a golden Buddha statue and another statue. We call on all Sri Lankans to take part in this endeavour and obtain merits.
මංගල්‍යයේ නිමිති කරගෙන ලංකාවාසී හැමදෙනාටම අපි කාරුණික සීපත් කරනවා මෙම උතුම් අවස්ථාවට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා වන්දනාමාන කරගන්නට මෙම අවස්ථාව කරගන්නට කියලා.
චක්කවරංකිත රත්ත සුපාදෝ
සිරස ආයතනය මේ කරන්නා වූ මෙහෙයට අපි ඇත්තටම පින් කියලා ඔයාලට ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. මේ අවස්ථාව නම් හරිම වටිනවා බෞද්ධ අපි කාටත්.
ගොඩක් සතුටුයි මම හරිම ආසාවෙන් ආවේ මේ ධාතුන් වහන්සේලා වැඳ පුදා ගන්න. පෙර පිනක් තිබිලා තියෙනවා මේ ධාතුන් වහන්සේලා වැඳනවා.
චාමර චත්ත විභූසිත පාදෝ
ලොකු පිනක් කරලා තියෙනවා මේ වගේ එක තැනකට ඇවිල්ලා වැඳ පුදා ගන්න ධාතුන් වහන්සේලා.
මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවක් ලැබීම ගැන අපි උගක් සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා. ඊ අවුරුද්දේ එපිට අවුරුද්දේත් අපි මේක වැඳා දැන් මේ කීල කරුණාත් ආවේ මේක වන්දනා කරගන්න.
Today is Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Of all Poya days, the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day is of utmost significance as it marks 3 major events in the life of Lord Buddha. It was on a day like this that the birth, enlightenment and the passing away of Lord Buddha took place. Over 2,500 years ago, on Vesak Full Moon Poya Day, the last birth of Bodhisattva took place at Lumbini Sal Park. It is said that the newborn child had walked on 7 lotus flowers which suddenly emerged before him. After coming into direct contact with the stark realities of life, Satara Peranimiti, a sick man, a decrepit old man, a corpse and a monk, the prince was determined to become an ascetic. One peaceful Vesak night, as he was seated under the famous Pippala tree at Buddha Gaya, he attained perfect enlightenment and became Samma Sambuddha. According to Buddhist history, Buddha's 3rd visit to Sri Lanka also took place on a Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Lord Buddha visited Kalaniya at the invitation of Naga King Mani Akkika of Kalaniya. At the age of 80 years, Gautama Buddha had his last meal offered to him by a generous lady named Sujata. He rested on the couch placed between 2 sala trees in the Upavattana Sala Grove and attained Parinibbana on a Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Religious activities were conducted around the country today in line with Vesak Full Moon Poya. Religious observances were held at the Shah Kemalakya, located in the environs of the capital Maharaja Organisation Private Limited.
මේ වගේ අති උතුම් දිනක
අපි අපේ ජීවිතේ
On such an auspicious day, we should devote ourselves to make our lives more meaningful. We should endeavor to root out bad practices from our lives and shine a light on our life, the lives of our family members and the entire country. Let us take up the responsibility of accomplishing this.
ව්‍යාප්ත කිරීමේ වගකීම අපි බාර ගනිමු කියන අදිටන ඇති කරගමු.
Large crowds were seen at the Jayashri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura today, engaging in religious observances. Devotees also flocked to the temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy. Special religious observances were also held at the Galvihara temple in Polonnaruwa in line with Vesak Full Moon Poya Day.
President Maithripala Sirisena has emphasized the need to be committed towards social justice following the teachings of Lord Buddha, who preached the virtues of equality to all.
In his message for Vesak, President Maithripala Sirisena points out that it is an incomparable prestige that the motherland, as a place where the Buddha visited on 3 occasions, received the opportunity to hold the United Nations International Vesak Festival. With this in mind, the President calls on everyone to be determined to commit to rise in the global society by overcoming petty boundaries. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe in his message says that the precepts of Buddhism based on the concept of universal compassion should inspire us to include its philosophical application in everyday living while also reviewing new ways of sharing it with a hurting world. Opposition leader R. Sambandhan says the theme of this year's Vesak celebrations, Buddhist teachings for social justice and sustainable peace, applies to the whole world and not only to Sri Lanka. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Sri Lanka says that the celebration of the 14th UN Vesak Day in Sri Lanka, where there are a majority of Buddhists and the followers of all 4 major religions in the world, is a special occasion. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Sri Lanka wishes all Buddhists and all citizens peace and well-being during Vesak. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' message for Vesak notes that everyone can draw inspiration from Lord Buddha's journey to attain enlightenment. Guterres calls on everyone to celebrate the wisdom of Lord Buddha by taking action for others with a strong spirit of solidarity. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be arriving in the country tomorrow for the International Vesak celebrations.
The inauguration of the International Vesak Zone will take place on Friday at the BMICH in Colombo, with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking part as the chief guest. The visiting head of state is scheduled to release a stamp to commemorate the International Vesak celebrations. On the 13th, Narendra Modi will pay homage to the Temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy and will present the Kandy Declaration. The Indian Premier is scheduled to declare open the Dikkoya Hospital in Hatton during his visit to the country. A joint security plan has been drawn up for the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Sri Lanka. 2 Indian Air Force helicopters have also arrived in the country as part of the preparations. Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, visited Hatton today to look into the preparations ahead of the Indian Prime Minister's visit.
Construction work at the Dikkoya Base Hospital in Hatton concluded in 2013. However, due to a political tug-of-war, the hospital remains closed to the public. Visiting Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to declare open the Dikkoya Base Hospital on the 12th of this month.
The Dikkoya Base Hospital is located on a 5-acre land approximately 3 kilometers away from the Norwood town. The hospital has a history of 152 years and dates back to 1885 during British colonial rule. The foundation for a 3-storied hospital was laid in 2011 following a decision to increase capacity at the hospital. Despite construction being completed in 2013, authorities had failed to declare open the Dikkoya Hospital for over 3.5 years. The 150-bed hospital consists of 6 operating theatres, an emergency medical ward and a state-of-the-art kitchen. Was it Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit that prompted the sudden decision to open the Dikkoya Base Hospital? Shouldn't the failure to open the hospital for more than 3 years be probed? Minister of Health, this is over to you.
The Inspector General of Police, Pujit Jasundar, has reported that extensive investigations have been launched into the attack on officers attached to the Police Narcotics Bureau. The shooting, which took place last night, claimed the life of 1 police officer and wounded a total of 6 people, including 2 police officers and 3 children.
The shooting took place at around 8:45 p.m. approximately 100 meters away from the Piliyandala junction along the road leading towards Moratua. According to the police, several armed gunmen on motorbikes had pursued the vehicle in which IP Nyomal Rangajiva and several members of his team were travelling. The driver of the vehicle, a constable attached to the Anti-Narcotics Bureau, died at the location, while IP Rangajiva and another constable are currently receiving treatment at the National Hospital. IP Rangajiva, who has suffered bullet wounds to his head and chest area, is currently receiving treatment at the ICU of the National Hospital.
I heard loud sounds over 15 to 20 seconds. I initially thought they were firecrackers. A couple of children came running here and they said that they shot into the air as well.
In addition to the vehicle transporting the police officers, a van, 2 cars and a 3-wheeler were also riddled with bullets. The driver of the 3-wheeler, who suffered injuries, has been admitted to hospital. 3 children aged 8, 11 and 15 years who were at a restaurant owned by their parents in the area were admitted to the Colombo South Teaching Hospital with injuries. Hospital sources revealed that the condition of the 11-year-old girl remains critical. Several police teams have been dispatched to conduct investigations. A motorbike believed to have been used in the attack was discovered abandoned in the Maharagama area today.
We are facing this situation. We will definitely apprehend those responsible. We drew up plans for the investigation last night.
Police Inspector Nyomal Rangajiva, who led the operation, is currently receiving treatment at the ICU of the hospital. Nyomal Rangajiva is a talented police officer who had discharged his duties against combating narcotics. IP Rangajiva, who played a pivotal role in this investigation, also spearheaded an investigation which apprehended 3 leading members of the Vele Sudha drug ring in June 2016. IP Rangajiva also rose to prominence when he uncovered one of the largest drug hauls discovered in the country, weighing over 101 kilograms and valued at over 1 billion rupees. This drug bust was conducted on the 30th of March last year in the seas off the southern coast.
There are planned attacks that are being carried out on officials who conduct raids to nab illicit drugs. The inspector, who is currently battling for his life at the ICU as a result of this incident, is famous for carrying out raids of this nature to nab illicit drugs and its racketeers. At the time he was shot, he was still Inspector of Police. These efficient officers should be commended and promoted. Why is the government not carrying out a proper evaluation of these officers? We need officers like this in the country. While there are a number of corrupt officers, people of this nature who are efficient are quite rare.
In more local news, S.M. Ranjit has resigned from his ministerial portfolio at the North Central Provincial Council. He did so as a mark of protest over the removal of K.H. Nandasena from the position of Minister of Health for the province.
K.H. Nandasena has been removed from his ministerial position. A person who obtained the least amount of preferential votes has been sworn in as a minister. We are against such baseless removals. I have decided to resign from all ministerial posts in the North Central Provincial Council. I will make this submission in writing to the governor. Together with K.H. Nandasena, I will serve as an independent member. Along with the majority of the members, we will continue with the struggle. M. Herath has been appointed as the new Minister of Health of the North Central Provincial Council. This evening he was sworn in as the Provincial Minister of Health, Indigenous Medicine, Social Welfare, Probation and Childcare, Environmental and Provincial Council Affairs. He took oath before Governor Punchi Banda Disanayaka. Chief Minister Peyashala Jayaratna said that K.H. Nandasena was removed from his position due to several political reasons. An associate of Herath Banda contacted me this morning and told me that Herath Banda would be sworn in as a provincial minister. Yesterday, we worked closely with the governor and the chief minister. I was never informed by any of them about any matter. Elections will be held in September. Though we are not affiliated with the party at present, we support the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We are members of the United People's Freedom Alliance. We are with the political party that works for the people and the country. I do suffer injustice. There are those who are less qualified than me. They may have purchased the preferential votes. The reason could have been their political engagements as well. I am from a rural village. I went to university, joined the public service and thereafter entered politics. So when a person is sworn in as a minister, the person who held the position before is removed. The President and the Governor instructed me to take oaths this afternoon. That is all I am aware of. Now, to mark Vesak full moon Poya, 597 inmates have been granted presidential clemency, which enabled the former prisoners to return to their families on this special day.
People incarcerated for minor offences, inmates over the age of 75 and those who failed to make fine payments were released. According to Prisons Commissioner Tushara Upuldenia, over 30 inmates were released from the Valikada prison. 12 inmates from the Vavuniya prison have also been released. In addition, relatives were given a special opportunity to meet their incarcerated loved ones.
The former chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Chandra Jayaratna, has responded to statements made yesterday by the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, at the United Nations ESCAP, Economic and Social Survey of Asia and the Pacific, 2017.
We artificially loosen policy and create a sugar high in growth because we are constantly looking for growth, not sustained growth through investment, but through, as I said, artificially either pumping money in through the budget, keeping interest rates artificially low, keeping the exchange rate overvalued so that you can suck in imports and create economic activity. All that you can do for a year or two and then you have a crunch, a balance of payments problem.
The intellectual community and the civil society applaud the governor for his words of wisdom presented yesterday. The politicians in charge of state finances appear to expect the central bankers to be magicians. No amount of external recognition, awards, self-acclaimed praise said to have been articulated in international fora, hosanna sung by cronies and help karyas can convince the intellectual community and the civil society to favor the alternative macroeconomic model that is being promoted by the politicians in an arrogant, all-knowing, egoistic way in managing the finances of our country. If politicians act deaf, dumb and blind in the context of these realities and ignore the best advice, civil society will have no alternative but to adopt a response using braille and a stingray tail to explain the only way forward by which the election promises of sustainable and inclusive growth and prosperity can be delivered to the people.
And that is a wrap of News First Primetime News. Thank you very much for watching. I am Shahin Jarampati.
And I am Mahina Bongzo. Before we go, let's quickly cross over to Ramesh Irugal Bandara, who's at the Sirsa John Keels International Vesak Zone.
Good evening, Shine. Good evening, Mahina. We are once again joining you from the Sirsa John Keels International Vesak Zone located here in Colombo too. As you can see behind me, there is a procession currently making its way down Brave Road Street. This procession is, of course, being organized by the Sri Lanka Navy. This procession includes many performers from performers wielding whips to performers wielding balls of fire and many other things. All this is there at the Sirasa John Kears International Vesak Zone. So if you come down to Colombo too, if you come down to the environs of the Capital Maharaja organization, you will be able to witness all this and much more. We have Bhakti Ki performances lined up for you. We have a beautiful pandal set up for you. We have free food in the form of dansas awaiting your arrival, and most importantly we have the sacred relics of Lord Buddha as well as a number of Maharahateros for you to pay homage to these sacred relics. So if you are in and around Colombo, make your way down to the environs of the Capital Maharaja organization. We will of course be continuing well into the night today, and we will be continuing tomorrow and the day after as well. So if you can't make it today, make sure to come over to the Sirasa John Kears International Vesak Zone tomorrow or the day after. This is Ramesh Rugal Bandara for News First. Shahin Maina, it's back to you.